Let's say you're a Legion player that's just getting started going to tournaments. I want to give you some practical steps to being prepared for your first Legion tournament. And even if you're not planning on playing in tournaments, some of this advice is good for casual game nights. I'll be going over faction-specific stuff in other videos, but I figured a general video covering this topic would make your first tournament experience less intimidating. My name is David Zelenka, I go by Endless, and I've been competing in Legion tournaments for the last 5 years. For this first part of the video, let's talk about some materials that you'll need to acquire before you head into your first tournament. There are 5 types of dice in Legion, and I recommend picking up 12 of each type. That'll make it so you don't have to borrow other people's dice once you're at the tournament. If you bought into the game with 2 core sets, you'll have 6 dice of each type. You should pick up an Essentials kit, especially if you're starting with Shadow Collective. The Essentials kit comes with thicker rulers than the core set that don't break as easily. You'll get duplicate copies of each movement tool in case you lose one. You get more dice, of course, and as a bonus, you get the Skirmish Battle Deck. Add on another normal dice pack and you'll be sitting at 12 dice of each type. You could also ask if both players could share one set of dice, but not everyone's comfortable doing this. It's better etiquette to simply have enough dice to play, and the rules often require that you show up with all the materials and components necessary to play Legion. If you've got custom dice, I would recommend that you run it by your event organizer or TO before you show up to the tournament. Some events will only let you use dice that are distributed by AMG and Asmodee, allegedly to prevent dice cheating. I think third-party dice could possibly be closer to true randomness than the AMG dice. That's a whole different video. Next, you're going to need to get hold of a Vital Assets and Priority Supplies expansion pack. These 2 packs contain 4 additional objective, deployment, and condition cards that you're going to find frequently show up in tournament play. Not only will you want the flexibility to take these cards in your battle deck, but you're going to run into them a lot, so you're going to have to learn them anyway if you want to succeed in your competitive goals. I consider these packs to be not optional. You're really hindering yourself if you don't own them. Vital Assets and Priority Supplies also come with their own miniatures, and while these miniatures increase immersion, there's a bit of a size discrepancy between the miniature base and the cardboard objective tokens that they're meant to replace. The bases the miniatures come on are 27mm in diameter, while the cardboard objective tokens are 25mm in diameter. Most competitive players won't care if you opt to use the miniatures or the cardboard objective tokens, but I recommend sticking with the cardboard just because it's easier to track the claimed and unclaimed status of each token. There is one set of miniatures that you're required to use, and those are the bomb cards for the payload objective. You'll need to assemble both bomb cards because if you bring payload in your battle deck, the tournament organizer will require you to have enough miniatures for both players. You'll need 8 barricades as well for fortified positions. Next, let's talk about silhouettes. You'll need to bring 2 types of silhouettes, a short one for regular small base troopers and a tall one for creature troopers and emplacement troopers. Silhouettes are important because they represent the true size of the miniature, regardless of the model. Silhouettes are always used in tournaments for line of sight checks. While AMG offers a print and play version of silhouettes on their website, you can do much better by going on Etsy and finding an acrylic silhouette. In fact, you could pretty much get anything to replace your cardboard there. So as you can see, before you start your competitive journey, you'll need to acquire some equipment. Fortunately, you can get a lot of what you need from the Frontline Gaming Store. Now, full disclosure, I am a Frontline affiliate, so if you make a purchase through my affiliate links, I get a cut, and it helps support the channel. You can also find a general affiliate link in the description to buy anything in the store, including Frontline's amazing neoprene gaming mats, which are found at major tournaments throughout the United States. Check out the store after you're finished watching this video. Okay, this next part is going to cover organizing your stuff. A lot of this will be personal preference. Some people use tackle boxes, some people use toolboxes. It's really up to you to find out what fits your personal style. The reason organizing your stuff is so important is that it speeds up overall game time. This is important so you can get to round 6 in your tournament games every time. Ideally, you'd get to round 6 every time, but if you want to squeeze in 3 rounds before the game store closes and you got to put a timer on the round, most tournaments don't use chess clocks, which means having to share time with your opponent. Not getting 6 rounds can potentially sour the tournament experience. We want to avoid that as much as we can, so we're going to do our part to make sure we're playing fast enough to get to round 6. You're going to need some method of organizing your tokens. The very first thing I bought to organize my tokens was a tackle box insert from Walmart. But if you're willing to spend a little money, you can do a lot better than that. There are a lot of great 3D printed options out there. I use this token holder from J Squared Designs. It's important to organize your tokens so you gain all that time back that you would have spent fumbling around looking for the right token anyway. Once my tokens are out of the organizer, I keep them in a little pile in front of me so I can refer back to them. This way I can quickly get what I need without fumbling around. Next, you're going to need a bag to blind draw your order tokens. Drawing from the order pool is supposed to be random. And the best way to ensure that is to shuffle your order tokens on the table, give them a cut, and then put them into a bag. This ensures that the draw is random and prevents you from accidentally cheating by seeing a face-up token. Some people shake the bag before drawing. This does literally nothing to randomize your tokens. You should always shuffle and cut on the table, put it into a bag, and then draw without looking at your bag. If you have third-party poker chip order tokens, you can always shuffle and cut on the table, and then draw from the stack, but this increases your risk of unintentionally cheating. Between rounds, remember to validate the order pool to make sure nothing goes in the bag that shouldn't go. Let's talk about organizing dice. I recommend getting a bag for your dice and organizing your dice on the table based on the various pools that you'll most commonly be rolling. So for example, if you're using a Phase 1 Z6, you're going to roll 4 black and 6 white. It's best to pile up these dice in an easily accessible place on the table so you can go back to them when you need them. You'll gain back all the time you spend during the round looking for your dice in your bag. You can also do the same with your defense dice, just have a little pile out of your bag ready to roll in case you need to. Always organize your cards the night before a tournament. Nothing eats up time like showing up to a tournament with all your cards in decks and then going through those decks to lay out the correct upgrades and unit cards. Instead, lay out what cards you need the night before. Put your battle deck and command hand into sleeves and then put them into a deck box. For unit and upgrade cards, I recommend buying these 14 pocket sleeves from Ultimate Guard. You can see mine are very beat up from extensive use. These are incredibly useful with slots for your unit cards and your upgrade cards. I own 10 of these pages. I recommend getting the same number. I bought them and never looked back. You should sleeve the cards before you put them into these pages because they may fall out. It's a good idea to sleeve all your cards anyway. It's also important that you bring enough upgrade cards to track exhaust and expend abilities, both so that your opponent can see it and because the tournament rules require it. Okay, are you still with me? Phew, that was a lot of information. In this last part of the video, I'm going to talk about being physically and mentally prepared for the tournament. Some of this advice is just general good advice for any game or sport. You're going to want to bring a beverage, water or a sports drink of some type. You're going to want a snack that'll keep your energy up. I prefer trail mix. The shared game clock runs while you use the bathroom, so make sure you use the bathroom before game 1 and before the lunch break ends. Don't eat a heavy lunch. If you drink caffeine, then an energy drink somewhere around the second round helps. Comfortable shoes are a huge plus. I personally use gel heel inserts and they are magic. Also recommend checking your posture often to save your back and sit down more than you think you need to. Okay, let's talk about the mental side of things. Pack up everything the night before and double check so you don't have to worry about it when you walk out the door. To assist you with this, I've created a Legion packing list that you can find for free in the description of the video. Please download it and enjoy. In the name of saving time, I recommend memorizing as many cards as you can in your list. This way you don't have to go back and reference them every time you need to make another move. The more practice games you have with your list, the easier this will be. Usually while I'm packing, I'll mentally go through all the combinations, keywords, and things in my head so that I know what I'm doing when I show up. I recommend approaching your first tournament with a growth mindset. This means viewing your Legion abilities as skills that, with enough training, can be improved. Winning is nice, but learning is the real objective. For your first time out, I would lower your expectations about wins or losses. In fact, I find it useful to let go of the outcome entirely and just focus on making the next best move that I can. Try not to fixate on a bad dice result. It's important to remain focused instead on what's going well for you during a match. If you lose a game, ask your opponents what mistakes you made. View it as an opportunity to learn. They will generally have something useful to say so that you can add it to the next game. Remember that everyone is there to have fun and socialize, and while winning may be important to you, it is ultimately secondary to having fun with the people you meet. The most important things are to have fun, learn, and improve.